in this lesson, we are going to learn how to form algebraic expressions. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to express statements in mathematical symbols. Now, what are algebraic expressions? So, algebraic expressions are made up of variables and constants, along with the algebraic operations. So, the algebraic operations are the plus, the minus, division, and then the times or the multiplication sign. And then we made mention of variables and constants. So, what are variables? What are constants? Now, a variable is a letter or letters that are used to replace numbers, or they are attached to numbers. So first we said variables are letters that are used to replace numbers. So for example, if we take a look at the formula for finding the area of a rectangle, that is, the area is equal to the length times the breadth. Now the area of a rectangle is a figure or a number, but then it has been replaced by a letter A. So A here becomes a variable because it is replacing or representing a number. L, that is the length, is also supposed to be a number. And then the breadth is also supposed to be a number. But then they are standing in, or they are representing the numbers. So A is a variable, L is a variable, then B is also a variable. And then we also said that variables can be attached to numbers. So for example, when we take 8a, a is a variable because it is attached to a number. I hope you understand. Now let's look at what constants are. So when we say a constant, it is the number that stands alone in an expression, or it stands on its own. So constants have no variables attached to them. So for example, if we have 8x minus 3y plus 4, this 4 is a constant because it is standing on its own. It is standing alone. It has no variable attached to it. And then we can say that x and y are what? Variables, correct? So if x and y are variables, and then 4 is a constant, then what is this number called? Or what is this number called? So they are called coefficients. So a coefficient is a number that is attached to a letter or group of letters. So we can say that 8 is the coefficient of x, and then negative 3 is the coefficient of y. I hope you understand. So coefficients are attached to variables or letters. And then we also made mention that they can be attached to a group of letters. A group of letters. So if you have negative 5x, y, z, these are a group of letters. So the negative 5 here becomes the coefficient of x, y, z. I hope you understand. Okay. Now, let's look at what like terms are. Like terms. So, they are letters and powers of each letter must be the same. So, when we say two terms are alike, or they are like terms, it means that one, they have the same variables. So, for example, 3x and 5x, they have the same variables, that is x, x. And then the powers of the variables must be the same, or the exponents of the variables must be the same. So this is raised to the power 1. That is why we don't write it. And then this is also raised to the power 1. Because they have the same variables, and then the variables are having the same powers, we can say that 3x and 5x are like terms. Hope you understand. Or if we have 9y and y, these are also like terms. You know, this has a coefficient of 1, so it is not written. So y is the same as 1y. Now, note that in like terms, we focus on the variables. We focus on the variables. So the variables must be the same. And then we said the powers must also be the same. So this one has the letter y attached to it, or the variable is y. And this is also y. And then they all have the exponents to be what? 1. 1. So 9y and then y are like terms. And then if you have negative 5x squared y and 2x squared y, are they like terms? Now let's see. This has the variables to be x and y. And then this one also has x and y. Now let's check the powers. The x here has a power of 2. And then this one has a power of 2. Y here has a power of 1. And y has a power of 1 here. Yes, so they are like terms. Since they have the same variables, and the variables are also having the same powers, so we say they are like terms. Now let's see if 2xy squared and 9x squared y are like terms. So let's see if they are like terms. So this one has xy, this one also has xy. Okay, now let's check the powers. So x here has a power of 1, and then x here has a power of 2. So they are not like terms. We said the powers must be the same. Now let's check for y2. Y has a power of 2 here, and then y has a power of 1 here. So they are not like terms. I hope you understand. So like terms must have the same variables, and the variables must also have the same powers. We've come to the end of this lesson. In this lesson, we learned what variables are. We also learned what constants are, what coefficient is, and then what like terms are. Join me in the next lesson as we continue to learn how to form algebraic expressions. See you in the next lesson.